Hello, I'm Bridget Marrison.
And I'm Jo Carter.
And welcome to Day 5 of the Championships at Wimbledon, where we saw Novak Djokovic in action, winning a 3-set match against Gilles Simon, but taking a tumble when he was leading 3-2 in the third set. Fell quite heavily on his left shoulder, didn't he?
He did, and he said in the press conference afterwards that he thought he might have dislocated it. He called the trainer and he was able to carry on and obviously win the match, but it was a bit of a scare for him.
Yes, and he's up against Jo-Wilfried Tsonga next, who finally won a 3-set match, having played 2 5-setters before, so that will be a good match in a couple of days' time, but I think Tsonga will be pleased to have a couple of days' rest as well.
Absolutely,
before they meet.
He's played all 5 days so far this championship, so yeah, he'll be happy for the rest.
Yeah. But the match that we talked about the other day, the Grigor Dimitrov and Alexander Dolgopolov match, I don't think disappointed anyone, turned out to be a really good 5-setter and perhaps a glimpse of the men's game in the future. I think they were really, really well matched, weren't they?
Absolutely, it was a fantastic match. Really, really high quality tennis for 4 sets. Dolgopolov twice went ahead and Dimitrov pulled it back, and Dolgopolov just ran out of steam in the end. And Dimitrov won 3 and 5, but yeah, really, really good match and good to see. Yeah,
and it was just a shame, I guess, that the last set was only sort of 18 minutes. But it was a good match, and the other match that I really enjoyed watching today was Jerzy Janowicz and Leighton Hewitt. It was a match that had been held over from yesterday, so it was a second round match, but really, really entertaining. And Janowicz actually served a double fault when he had a match point in the third set. It went to 5 sets, and Leighton Hewitt can now claim another record, which is he is the first man to have played 42 5-set matches in Grand Slams.
Yeah, surpassing Andre Agassi's record, so I'm sure he would have liked to win in 3 or even just take the win today, but it's a record nonetheless.
Yeah, and there was much talk in the press conference about whether his wave to the crowd was just a thank you for supporting me today or a goodbye wave, but he was tight-lipped about that. But talking of future champions, Petra Kvitova... Past champions, indeed. Well, maybe one of them is a future champion. Petra Kvitova and Venus Williams were in action today.
They were, and you mentioned about whether Hewitt might have played his last match at Wimbledon. Likewise, Venus Williams had similar questions in her press conference after she lost 7-5 in the third set against Kvitova. Again, it was a fantastic match, really, really high quality, and it kind of went one way and the other. There was never really any momentum for either player. But yeah, I mean, Venus, she said at the end in her press conference that she gave it her all, but sometimes that's just not enough. But it was a really good performance and good to see her back, fighting at Grand Slams. So yeah, but Kvitova goes through, and tomorrow's match, I'm picking Anna Ivanovic against Sabine Lisicki.
Okay.
Ivanovic is in good form. She won in Birmingham the other week. That was her first title on grass, and obviously Lisicki is a runner-up here last year, and she just loves playing at Wimbledon. Her record here is phenomenal. She's reached the quarterfinals or better on the last 4 occasions she's played here, so definitely one to watch tomorrow.
Okay, and the one I'll actually be watching is I rather like the idea of watching Roger Federer against the Colombian Santiago Giraldo. I'm not sure that Santiago is going to win, but I've been following the sort of Colombian tennis story, which coincides nicely with the Colombian football. And Santiago Giraldo is an interesting player. He came through his match against Marcel Granollers, and he really seems ready for a rematch with Federer. They met in 2011 in the US Open, but I think since then Giraldo's game has really improved. So it's just a really interesting match to see a champion like Roger Federer up against a Colombian not known for their tennis, but actually a nation that's doing really well. And you can follow all the action tomorrow on the Tennishead website, tennishead.net, or why not sign up for our free newsletter.